The Tao of Self-Confidence, episode 361.
Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap-Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady on the show today. She's an actress, an influencer, and also an Asian American empowerer, and I'm just excited to have her on and share her story with us today. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Amy Park. Amy, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Hi. Yes, Sheena. Thank you so much for having me here today. As Sheena said, I am an Asian American empowerer. At least I like to think of myself as one. My background is acting, and I've wanted to be an actor ever since I was 5 years old. And that dream has never faded. But as I got older, I realized it was actually becoming more of a social activism empowerment for me. When I was younger, I never really knew how to identify myself as. I was like, I feel like I'm not Asian enough, but I'm not American enough. I didn't really know what that meant. And as I grew older, that question just kept lingering. And it was not until around college when I started to really realize who I was and why my identity was so important to me. And I realized that I'm not the only one who's asking this question myself. And for a very long time, I was very depressed and upset. I was ashamed of what I looked like. I felt like I was never going to be good enough or pretty enough compared to my white or, American looking friends. Even though I was born in America, I never really felt like I was able to belong just because of how I looked. But then as I went to Korea, I saw how so many people looked very, I hate to say this, but exactly the same, with plastic surgery and all that going on. And that's when I had a wake-up call, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of how I look like. I'm so happy with who I am. And that was the journey of my self-confidence.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Amy, what's your cultural background?
I am Korean American.
Thanks for sharing that. And what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
For me, I really love the one where it's where Gandhi says, "Be the change you want to see in the world." And that's something that's always stuck with me. And I realized, oh my gosh, one person really can change the world for just even one other individual. And for me, that is my goal, even to change one person's life with a different perspective, a different mindset.
Thanks for sharing that. And that is a great quote. And it's so true that if we want change, we have to start with ourselves, right? Like, I remember I've always wanted to help women, especially Asian women, with, the things that they go through. Because, as an Asian woman, we go through so many things like, cultural experiences and traditions that we have to follow or we're told to follow. And I know a lot of people out there feel like they're alone when they're not. And, I just wanted to find a way. And, I knew if I wanted something, I had to start it. Right. And
yes.
we all start from zero, right? It's just like starting and just building it up along the way. And, when people can see that, that's when they, kind of gravitate to you and attract you because they love what you're doing. They know that you're in it for, a big change, you're in it with your heart. So I really love that quote as well. It's short, but very powerful. So thanks for sharing that. And, what's your own definition of self-confidence?
I think it's really finding your own true beauty. For me, I was always scared about how small my eyes looked like when I smiled. But then people would comment on how much they loved my smile and how much it brightened their day. And to me, I was like, really? Like, my smile, but what about my eyes? Don't my eyes look quote unquote chinky? But to them, they never saw that. And they always said that I smiled with my heart. And I was like, wow, that really opened my eyes. I was like, I can't imagine, not loving who I am. And now I love my eyes. I'm so proud of my eyes. I'm so proud about, I think, less is more. I used to try to put on so much eyeliner to make my eyes look bigger. But then I was like, what am I doing? I should really just embrace who I am And for a long time, I just stopped wearing all makeup. And I said, oh my gosh, I get to wake up to this face every day and I got to fall more in love with it. And I think people really saw that about me. Not afraid to just be me, flaws and all.
Thanks for sharing that. And I love that definition. And I think that's what's missing in the world too, just showing like your true, raw, authentic self, without the makeup and stuff. I remember like in my 20s, I dyed my hair blonde because I want to look less Asian. And it's like, when I looked in the mirror, it's like, this isn't me. Like, I'll never be a blonde haired girl, you know? And it's like, it's $80 to maintain this every 3 months. Like, this is insane. It's like the cheap Asian in me. So, I went back to my regular color and I looked in the mirror again. It's like, I'm me again. I love it. It just made me appreciate more of who I was. So I think, we all go through some stage to appreciate ourselves more. And it's great, right? We can see the good in it. And, Amy, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
I was very depressed. I would compare myself to every single person. I would be like, that person has that and I don't have that and I'll never have that. And I remember when I was 8 years old, people told me to get plastic surgery before I even knew what that was. And they said that my eyes were too small and that I should have gotten the double eyelid surgery and like lift my nose up and do all that. And I was like, what is that? Why do people do that? And at such a young age, I was kind of traumatized with people telling me to do something like that to my face. And as I got older, I was really considering it. I was like, I think maybe I should do it. Maybe people will love me more. Maybe I will love myself more. And then in 2013, when I went to Korea, I just saw how it was really affecting a lot of people psychologically. And I said, wow, people are still getting these surgeries and they still don't love themselves. So it's not about what you look like on the outside. It's really how you are on the inside. And that's what really opened my eyes. I said, I can never do this surgery. It's never going to make me feel any better. Also, I don't think I can really fall in love with a face that is not mine. I felt like there was so much love and care to make me, and I should really embrace that.
Thanks for sharing that. And I think, in Asian countries, just like the standard of beauty is so insane. Like in the Philippines, where I was born, it's like if you're not fair skin or white skin, it's like you're not considered beautiful. And, people go through lengths to whiten their skin, put huge amounts of powder on their face, buy every kind of whitening cream under the sun, plastic surgery. And like you said, it's never going to be enough, right? Because you're going to feel like you have to do more and keep on doing it and doing it. And, we've seen movie stars that just constantly do plastic surgery and then they just look totally different. Like they just look so plastic and fake and it just doesn't look real anymore. And there's like, a point where you're just like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Right? Like, what is it for? Is it for someone else or is it for me? And I think people forget that, right? They're just so into trying to impress others or trying to look good to feel like they want to belong somewhere, not realizing like you are more than enough. And if they don't like you, it's okay because we can't even please everybody, right? And I think that's something that we have to, tell ourselves, like, we can't please everyone. We might as well just do what we love. And, because of this, eye-opening realization you had in Korea, what's your life been like now?
Very different. I remember coming back for my sophomore year in college and I felt like a completely different person. I was so happy. And people were like, Amy, you're like the happiest person I know. And that made me realize I can really affect change. When people saw me, they started to become happier too. And I didn't realize I could really do that for other people. I was like, I really feel like I'm going with that quote, be the change you want to see in the world. And I would just kind of ask myself every day, like, how are you today? Like, Amy, you are beautiful inside and out. I used to take myself so seriously. Like if I was like, oh my God, I gained 15 pounds or something like that, I would just be so mean to myself. But now if something, is a little off or I don't feel 100%, I'm more nurturing rather than like sabotaging myself. I feel like I'm trying to self-heal all the time if there's something going on. And I think that's really important. It's really important to kind of give yourself that room and that space to say it's okay, it's okay. And I feel like nowadays, a lot of people, we resort to being so mean to ourselves first, like criticizing ourselves, that we forget that step. And I think that's a very important step. Also, I started meditating every day. It really changed my life. I don't know what I would do without meditation. It really brings me back to square one.
Thanks for sharing that. Something as simple as meditation can really give you a great feeling. Just learning to restart, whether it's your day or your mood, it's the great way. And everyone has their own form of meditation, right? It can be just, a minute of silence or just a walk in the park. Not everyone, because I tried meditating how most people do and I fall asleep. And it's like, that's not for me. Like meditation for me is like jogging outside and seeing like the beauty around me. It just clears my head. And I think people forget like you can meditate how you want, or you can do things your own way. And it's so true. We're so hard on ourselves, all right? It's like if we eat a cupcake, we like punish ourselves to death for one cupcake. It's like you ate a cupcake. That's it. Enjoy that cupcake, right? We have instead of feeling bad that, oh my God, I had a cupcake, So, I mean, I can totally understand, because I used to do that as well too. It's like, oh my God, you're a minute late. What's wrong with you? You're incompetent. You're unorganized. You need to be better at this. And it's like, you're late a minute. It's fine. No one's going to freak out. It's all good, right? And it's just like, I guess, learning to let go of the outcome as well. So, I'm glad that you mentioned that. And, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey of self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
Okay, so it's funny. I almost, like every day, I would go look at myself in the mirror and I would smile and I'd say, Amy, you are so beautiful. I love you so much. Whatever you're going to do today, make yourself today a fulfilling day with purpose, whatever you do. I love you. I love you so much. And I know it's funny to talk to yourself, but once you start doing that every day and it becomes a routine, I think it's like the fake it till you make it. It really helps. It's really cheesy, but for me, I think that's something I can definitely want to say to somebody who is in that journey of self-love and self-confidence.
That's a great tip. And I think it is a really great exercise. And like you mentioned, it is weird. You look in the mirror and you're talking to yourself and you're like, this is insane. I don't think I could ever do this. But like the more you do it, it gets less uncomfortable and you really start to love yourself more. I have 3 things that I say to myself when I feel self-doubt is coming. I just tell myself, I love myself, I am enough and I am worthy. And, after saying that, I feel so much better, because as women, especially as Asian women, we just feel like we're never enough or we're not worthy when, it's the total opposite. So, I really love, your tip, and, I hope more our listeners will start doing this as well. And don't worry if you feel weird. It's normal. It's normal.
Exactly. And you're doing it you're doing it for yourself. No one else is watching. This is for you and you only. And I feel like we always need to baby ourselves a little more. We're so hard on ourselves. Like, the moment we come out of our womb, especially as Asian women, people are like, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to be here, you have to be better than other people. And I think that whole mindset of competition has really gotten to us, that we've forgotten community and that we need to be there for each other, not against each other. And I hope that women can start to really understand that too, and feel the love for each other even more.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I love what you said about that, standing side by side with each other. I mean, that's what's going to, make this world a better place. So thanks for sharing that. And Amy, if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Absolutely. I present myself most on Instagram. My Instagram is AMI_PARK. Very easy. It's a girl in a pink dress. And I give a lot of motivational quotes. I give a lot about like my daily life sometimes. I like to post a lot of photos of me just on a regular day, and that's me just smiling, really happy. And it happens to brighten other people's days, which makes me very, very excited. So that's my Instagram, and anyone can always add me on Facebook, AMIPARK. If you want to check out my website, it's www.amypark.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Amy, you can also head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Amy's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just want to thank Amy for taking the time to share her story with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Sheena. This was truly a blessing.
Not a problem. It was an honor having you on the show. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Get your free self-talk tape for building self-confidence by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.